good. I try to tell people they look healthy now, because I fell into that trap too, saying you look so great, you've lost so much weight. I tell them how healthy they look. And I think now people appreciate that because we think of it that way too.
Right.
And then, I mean, maybe some people just want me to tell them they look fantastic, but they do. They do look fantastic, but they also don't look emaciated or fat. They look healthy, you know, they did the right things. And I think it's important to, I want to say this the right way. I'm kind of losing the thought because what do you know? I went off on a tangent. I think it's important to have that body positivity and express that. And if that's, and I'm bringing this around to marketing now, if we're talking about that, and you mentioned to me before a call that you've kind of gotten pushed by some people to talk about the weight loss first and then bring people in, but that's not target audience, right? So, you know, so how do you express that to people authentically? How do you express that to people that this is my vision and I'm there for you so that you're not going to be a repeat customer? Please refer me to someone else instead, because you're literally saying, I don't want you to be a repeat customer.
Right.
Because I gave you a crash diet. You lost a bunch of weight for a wedding or a prom or, you know, a Christmas, whatever. And then you gain it back. I don't want to see you in the spring. So how do you express that, especially with the new branding, the Girl Hates Salad, which is pretty obvious.
Right.
For that part. I think everyone's going to say, okay, let's go find out why. So what do you do from there?
Yeah. So it's really, so I do have, I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I have a Done with Dieting Next Steps blueprint. And one of the things that I like that I've put that out there is that I really try to make clear using that, like, hey, this is what we're focusing on. And I get it. People want to lose weight. I'm not saying that people who work with me do not have those goals. I would never say you can't have those goals. I'm just saying that when you work with me, that is not a metric of success. And it's not something that we're focusing on. And I hope that people appreciate the honesty, that the integrity kind of comes through in that. My enthusiasm helps, and really focusing on that health over, you know, that kind of appearance. And we're talking about a whole person health, not just one area, and looking at, you know, overall, like I said, the mindset, there's so much, having your support system, all of that. It's not easy. But one of the things that does is, because I had to learn, this was a very oh my goodness moment when it came to marketing. I had to learn that actually you want to have certain people that you don't want coming to you. You're not trying to attract everyone, like with your target audience, you're saying, right? You are looking for certain people that fit the criteria of what would work best with you. And so I had to learn, well, hold on, it's not about me pandering to these people. And my role is to persuade them. I know you're saying that you want this, but actually, you know, I'm going to help you do this. Instead, actually targeting, okay, well, this is what I offer. And this is kind of how we do that. This is the kind of transformation that we're looking at. You know, this is what working with me will get, and being really honest and upfront, as opposed to, because it doesn't feel good to try and almost be sneaky about it, right?
No, it absolutely doesn't. And I would never recommend someone do that. And something a lot of business owners who are not familiar with marketing, when I ask them in the beginning, I learned not to ask this either. Who do you want to attract? Because they don't know. If they're coming to me, they don't know. Otherwise, they would have, you know, not needed someone else to help them with strategy. So I've learned not to ask that over time as I went from solo freelancer to agency. But the thing is, when someone talks about wanting to attract an audience, and I say, well, what kind of audience are you looking for? They say everyone.
Right.
Everyone is not your customer.
No.
And if you have a niche that is narrow but profitable, then you can just attract 100 people a week. If those people are then becoming your clients and paying and referring other people to you, it could be 1,000, it could be 2,000. It just depends on what your program is or what your offer is and how it converts to numbers, what percentage of those people will convert, which we can, you know, which I go into more in other areas of my media. But what you're saying is, I'm not trying to get everyone. I'm not trying to get everyone to buy my powder, which is what a lot of the MLM, which is multi-level marketing. It's, you know, the people who are, it's pyramid. They always say they're not pyramid, but it's pyramid. It's where they have to bring in other team members, and really the people above make money off of the people below, and that's it.
Yes.
So they're told to go get everyone because everyone wants to lose weight. Everyone wants to
Mm-hmm.
eat better, right? And that's not what you're doing. And what I'm hearing, Sam, is you're saying, I don't want to help everyone because not everyone wants my kind of help.
Absolutely.
And I am going to be best for the right people. And the other people hopefully will come around to wanting to work with you as well.
Right. Right.
You're
it's
not
a nice
right
idea,
for everyone.
Right.
You're not right for everyone. No one is right for everyone, which is why I often say that you can be direct competition with someone on this podcast, because I will have one style and someone else will have another. And I may not be right for someone and vice versa. So, you know, there's room for everybody. It really is. So you're looking for a niche. You've got the offer of Done with Dieting, Next Steps Blueprint. And so you called it Figure Out Healthy, Positive Change Without Dieting. So you're not telling them what to eat. No. Are you telling them calories? Are you telling them kinds of foods? What are you doing briefly?
So that blueprint is really, it's a free blueprint. And it's basically for people who find themselves, they're like, I don't want to sit and do another diet. I'm just over it. But I don't know what to do. Because a lot of people, they're like, I don't feel good dieting, but what's the alternative? What else am I going to do? I don't feel good not being on a diet. So I'm just feeling stuck. And so really I'm looking for the people who are feeling stuck and they want to get healthy. They really just don't know how. And this blueprint is really to help you go, okay, it's asking you the questions. All right, well, what do you want? What do you want for your health? What's that going to look like? And really specifically, what do you want your routines to look like? How's your mindset doing? It's got a lot about mindset. It talks about motivation, because so often we think that motivation is just this random thing that's kind of floating around and that we're just going to sort of pick up one day and we'll be good, when really we have to do action. And that's not what we always want to hear, right? Unfortunately, no. I have tough questions, I have tough answers, but they're all truthful, and I stand by them. I like to think that I coach with a lot of integrity. My clients are important to me. Everyone who goes through the things that I do are important. I want to help people and I want them to find it helpful. And so putting that out there, obviously I do have a program. It's called the Girl Hates Salad Signature Program, and that's nutrition, fitness, and confidence program. And we're basically working on the three. We're working on the nutrition, is working on the skills. So I work on what we call boosting nutrition. So we are building that healthy relationship with food. We're looking at what you actually want to eat. And then we're looking at some ways to kind of make things a little bit healthier, because everyone does. As much as we'd like to say, just eat whatever, we do. We want to feel good. We want to learn the foods that make us feel healthy. So no calories, no weighing your food, no weighing yourself. No, none of that. It's going bye-bye, because these are actually, and they're actually not good for our mental health. We don't feel good when we're doing them. I don't know if you've ever had, I talked about that morning beatdown, but another thing that a lot of people I think can relate to is when you wake up and maybe you've had a really good night's sleep, you're feeling pretty good, you're ready to go for the day, and then you go step on the scale and it's maybe neutral or it's higher than you wanted and your mood just tanks. And it's like, yes. If I had just carried on my day, I felt really good just a few minutes ago.
If I had didn't feel tight, why didn't I just stop there?
Right.
Especially if you've just had a big meal or event a day or two before, because that kind of just hangs on for a day, or water and all that. We all have that idea that we weigh less in the morning.
Right.
And
right.
There's been studies done, and we do, but it's half a pound, and that just go away the next day.
And it fluctuates so much, weight fluctuates so much. And it's so I say, hey guys, I know it's a scary thing to think you're going to leave the scale alone for, my program's 12 weeks. And I'm I promise you the diet industry will be waiting for you after 12 weeks if you don't like what we do. I promise that scale will welcome you with open arms if you want to go back to that. This is about trying to get new results. So we're going to try something new, which means leaving that stuff alone that doesn't necessarily feel good.
I like that. So it sounds like the people who are going to work with you and want this program are the people who are ready to kind of get serious about it because they've tried other things.
Right.
And maybe for their health, I'm guessing here, maybe for their health, maybe because it's just time, maybe because they want to, get down on the floor and play with their kids or grandkids, or be able to, go on that hike. I was ill for a little while and gained weight. It comes back fast. If you've got a bad flu or a cold, or you've been down with
Mhm.
COVID for 10 days or quarantined with COVID and don't work out in those 10 days and just eat chips.
Right.
Not that I would ever do that.
You're like, that's a random
That
scenario
just
that
that
I'm
just
just
never
pulling out of.
happens.
Yeah.
Nobody has experienced that. So at all, just Liza's just making up fantastical ideas.
Right.
So there's one thing that came out of COVID that I won't call a silver lining necessarily, but we've all been there now, haven't we?
Right.
So, globally. So we feel that, you know, we need to make a real change, and this is the time we're really going to make the change, and we don't want to crash after the event or after this. Like, you know, like if I have a goal, I know that I've got to do it between now and March or now and December, depending on how much weight you want to lose.
Right.
And that I was starting to say before, and I think I got off track. Surprise, surprise. You know, when I lost weight before, it was, how did you do it? How did you do it? And I had to keep telling people I exercised more than I ate.
Right.
And nobody wants to hear that.
No,
Nobody
no.
wants to hear that.
No. And the problem is too, is like, it's so unique for everyone. I think, you know, I've definitely said this to people before when I've talked to them. I'm like, the thing to remember is that a lot of the times when people are promoting the weight loss, they'll say, you know, I'm going to show you how to lose this much weight in this amount of time. I'm going to show you, and here's my proof. Because people do, they have the capacity to show you how to lose weight. The thing is that sometimes they'll say, I'm telling you from my own personal experience. So what they're telling you is they're going to tell you how they lost weight, not necessarily how you're going to lose weight, because we're all different.
There's no one. Right.
Right.
There's
if
no
there
one
was,
solution.
and I knew it, I think everyone would know my name. I'd be selling it. It'd be, you know,
you wouldn't be talking to me from a closet.
No, I would not. Exactly.
You'd be talking to me from Hawaii. Yeah.
There we go.
A closet in Hawaii.
Yes.
Right. So yes, exactly. I think that you were right on. And that's where you have to think about your target audience. So talking about marketing with this, you want to talk about the audience you really, really want to attract. It's not everyone. It's not people who want to lose weight. You've got to get down to your customer profiles. There's a lot of free tools online to do that. I have, you know, advice on that too. And that's going to be really important. You start with one customer profile and then you can expand it as you go. So if you haven't done that, if you haven't really thought about who's going to give you money because you have what they want, what is the solution you have for their problem, then, you know, you have to think about the problem first and then say, does my solution match it? And when you find the person who matches, that's your ideal client. It's not the other way around. It's not, okay, here's my solution. I'm going to come up with a customer profile that I want to sell to, because that person may not exist. I mean, it just, you know, they probably do, but it may not be a big part of the audience. So don't do it backwards is what I'm saying. And it sounds like you're doing it the right way. It sounds like you said, okay, I've really thought about my program. I've really thought about my business, and who do I really want to work with? Because you get to decide that too as a business owner. Who do I want to work with? Because then you know that they're going to be able to trust you, trust your expertise, and get along with you.
Right. Absolutely. And, you know, I think it was actually the last time that we talked, we had talked about how important relationships are, especially now. People want to be connected, and you want to make sure that, you know, you guys are compatible, right? That you're compatible with the client that you're working with. And a lot of the times it's because we can relate. I think that's where things come from, you know. I can tell you I've been where you are. And that's why I can, when I'm talking to you, what you want them to say things like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm feeling right now. Or, oh my goodness, like, how do you know? Like, this is exactly what I'd lie at bed thinking at night, right? Those are the things that you want to hear from your client, because they're the ones that you're going to be able to connect with. They're the ones that are, you know, they're the ones that you're building these things for. They're the ones you're trying to help. So I think you're right. It's about being able to connect and just relate to them.
Yes. And they don't have to have the same kind of lifestyle as you. They don't have to have the same politics as you. They don't have to do anything the same as you. No. You don't have to be friends outside of the business, but you have to be compatible and be able to get along so that you can explain things to them and they can explain things to you in a way that you both can communicate clearly. You don't have to communicate exactly the same way, but if, you know, you can reach that person. There's got to be empathy. There's got to be communication. So that's a big, big part of marketing a service, especially something so personal as I'm going to tell you what I weigh and what I want to do with
Right.
my body,
Yep.
exercise, fitness, et cetera.